Void. Void. Live from the Western Desert, we welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV and to the OMSRL Xfinity Series, where we get set to go racing for round number 4. This is the Jackpot 150. My name is Old I'll be bringing you all of the coverage here tonight from start to finish of tonight's 100-lap race. It is bound to be, no doubt, just as thrilling as every race we've had here the last few seasons has been indeed. It's going to, no doubt, be, I think, a fierce drive for everybody out here tonight. And I can tell you right now, this is going to be one race you are not going to want to miss. The championship order, when we get set to go racing at the head of everything here tonight, will look a little bit something like this here as we get set to sent on over into the gambling capital of the world. It is Holden McGill up on the top, and he is up at this point by a good 35 points, stretching those legs early in his Badger Racing number 21 up there at the point. Defending champion Michael Kenner has not gotten off to the greatest of title defenses. He is down 35, running in that number 2 spot. Grant Peterson, of course, bringing up the tow down in 3rd. There's a lot to be had here over the course of the evening, and with all of these drivers still early on, there's still lots of room for the points battles to really flip around on all of these drivers as we get set to go racing for, again, 100 laps of racing action here tonight. Currently, it is a good 90 degrees Fahrenheit down on the racing surface, 70 in the air, so pretty much optimal temperatures as it stands for racing action at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We will get the chance to take a look and see what is all going down on the track here with qualifying. There is a lot of cars right now currently out there on the qualifying, and effort among them. Sean Kaiser ripping the outside line. We'll go on board with Kaiser as he takes us around for a lap around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You see just how quickly the speeds are when you rip around the top side of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll look down to a couple of the other drivers putting down qualifying laps, including the likes of Hunter Thrower. Currently sits 16th quick here on the boards, getting set to come across the start-finish line for his second lap as Michael DeWalt will put a time down for the number 20 spot. He's only good enough, though, to improve up to 15, so not the best of starts for Hunter Thrower and his attempts at qualifying. We look back to Michael DeWald. He's run to the back straightaway. Put down to 31.574. Made that now 21st place as Rucci will go 15th quick on the day. The DeWalt, number 11, Ford Mustang charges across start finish. And it'll be an improvement up to 18th for Michael DeWald. That leaves just Matt Rucci now. Down to the racetrack, he'll fire out of turn number 4 and come hightailing it across the start-finish line. Purple all the way around. That should be pole position for the Badger Racer number 88. He'll shoot to the top with a 30.348. A blistering time for Matt Rucci will put his car right up on top, exactly where he needed it to be. No other drivers on track as it stands at the moment. You can see 21 have set times thus far. We've got 23 registered and set to take it to the racetrack here tonight. So there's a lot of racers out there that are going to be looking for some interesting momentum. There were a couple of major incidents in last season's race down for season number 4, most notably when Michael Kenner got tipped up on his roof coming across through the infield, spinning back up into traffic in the middle of the race. And then, of course, when Logan Hamilton was dumped by TI racing driver Nate Brody for the race lead down in towards turn number 1. Hamilton had been leading the race for pretty much everything thus far, and he found himself stumbling all the way down to the tail end of this field. And I remember Robert Peterson getting collected on that as well in a big way. But hopefully we will not be seeing any of those incidents here tonight, and hopefully we'll be finding ourselves with a solid outing from America's gambling capital. The Jackpot 150 starting grid then is pretty much set in stone. We'll be able to take a rundown of what your starting grid is going to be looking like as we get set to go racing for 100 laps here tonight from Las Vegas, Nevada. It is the likes of Matt Rucci to start on a pole position. You've got You got the driver of Spencer Ray for All-American Motorsports starting beside him on that front row. Zach Kreis going to be in third for Burnt Bacon Motorsports. Matt Scherr for Next Level Motorsports going to be in fourth. Anthony Rosati brings it up in fifth with Sean Kaiser in sixth for row number 3. Row 4 holds Holden McGill and Brandon Kluge. Nathan Schifrin out of Carolina will face off against Ryan Dingler on row number 5. Grant Peterson and Jacob Noyes are back on row number 6. Row 7 holds Robert Peterson and Colton Hopfner. Michael Kenner for Kenner Baker Racing going to be in 15th with Hunter Thrower down in 16th. Row 9 holds Nathaniel Ames for Shake and Bake Racing and Michael DeWalt on row number 9 in 18th place. Stephen Purcell for Shake and Bake and Josh Cole out of Georgia going to be rounding out the top 20. Jason Layton for HW Racing going to be down in 21st with Kyle Green beside him in 22nd out of Florida. That leaves Corey Paya out of New England to round it up. That 23rd starting position, and your grid is set for what should be a thrilling bout of racing action here tonight. You've got yourself 100 laps, 150 miles on the boards, and we'll be bringing you every single lap from start to finish here in this one. So as these races are getting set to slide it on off, we'll listen to the sounds as these cars fire up. We get set to go racing in the Nevada desert. Your field of 23 cars starts to work its way through turn numbers 3 and 4 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're happy that you're joining us here on Green Flag TV for some more Tuesday night racing action. The field is going to pull around through the final couple of corners as the pace car pulls down and into pit road. It stays now in the hands of Matt Rucci, who will take us to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is underway. We're racing in Las Vegas. Working back to the front straightaway on towards lap number 2. Matt Rucci leads the way for lap number 1, while behind the fight remains on for that second position. Spencer Ray quickly taking the lead away from Matt Rucci down to the turn number 1 onto the back straightaway. A bit further behind, Anthony Musati looking for the top of Zachary Kreiser. Holden McGill runs the bottom. Musati will fight the top side, try to push his way further up inside the top 5, back to the front stretch. And the Badger Racing 49, Toyota Supra, looking strong as he gets set to power around the top shelf, trying to rip it all the way up there through turn numbers 1 and 2 to the back straightaway. Almost gets to the outside wall, able to keep it off of it as we fire it back down the Nellis straightaway. Further down this field, Jacob Noyes, Ryan Dingler embroiled in the battle of their own. Grant Peterson also trapped down on the bottom side. In front of them, we got the 69 of Brandon Kluge and Sean Kaiser. They're going side by side as well for position further up the road. They're going to get themselves tucked in line. Holden McGill still fighting with Zachary Kreiser down to 1 and 2. See how good of a run Kreiser gets mid-corner there on that 21 car. Here comes Nathan Schifrin in the number 15 looking for the bottom side. No room as of right now, though. He'll fight it out with Burnt Bacon Racing teammate Zachary Kreiser up on the top. Trying to work our way down to that back straightaway. It's going to be an intense run for everybody involved here in this deal, as we'll be trying to get ourselves sorted in the main going. And right now, it is a hornet's nest of cars down to the back of this field. Colton Hoffner running up on the top. Jacob Noyes trying to fight it out with Michael Kenner down on the bottom of the Kenner Bacon Racing number 98, and they're almost going 3 wide. Dingler having to pedal it a little bit in the background as well, trying to keep it out of the mess. We got one on the outside wall. That's the 00 of Hoffner, and the 17 going to drop back now. The 00 going to drop to the 17th as a result of that one. Up front, Musati and Cherry showing no qualms about do battle with one another. They're going to go side by side down through the tri-oval. Back behind, Josh Cole running his Red Bull Racing number 83 for All-American Motorsports. Chasing after Josh Cole up on the top, but Cole going to pull clear. And the number 43 thrower looking back to the bottom. No room, though, to make that move just yet. Running lap 8 of 100. Burnt Bacon Racing teammates. Both running South Point cars this week, going side by side, keeping up the trend of changing the paint scheme every single week. I like it. Keeps them distinguished on the racetrack. You see Kreis trying to work the top side of Shiflett. And the two of them are keeping the likes of Sean Kaiser and Brandon Kluge tucked in line. Kluge going to shoot to the inside of Kaiser, not wanting to waste any time down on the low line. Brandon Kluge started up in 8th. He's just trying to avoid losing whatever spots he can here. So we're going to hightail it back up through the high banks of 1 and 2 towards the Nellis straightaway. Chasing lap number 9 down to the front straightaway out of turn number 4. Closing in on that 1/10 distance as already nearly 15 miles of racing complete in the Jackpot 150. Shiflett working the high side of Sean Kaiser, going to go on board as he tries to rip the lip. And get right up there now with Kaiser as we run it back down at turn numbers 3 and 4. Kaiser back on the bottom. They continue to race side by side, coming out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. The racing has been phenomenal so far tonight. Behind you can see Ryan Dingler and Brandon Kluge starting to get a bit closer together, as well as that Grant Peterson is right in the mix of this fierce fight as well. It's allowing everybody from about 6th on up to start to build that gap up the road. And at this point, it's a big question as for who's going to be able to come out on top as a result of all of this side-by-side fight we've got going on in the midfield here. Nobody showing qualms about pit strategies yet, save for Jacob Noyes. Noyes coming on down and into the lane. Interesting call for the number 3, but he has had something fierce happen to the side of his car in the last few laps. We'll see if we can't find out what happened to the number 3 car. Oh, he says slapped the wall coming out of the tri-oval here. We'll get another look back. I believe this is going to be coming around through turn 2, so a bit further back than we're hoping for. We'll shoot this one forward. You can see Brandon Kluge fighting it out behind. Sorry, that's the 23 fighting that behind of Jason Layton. As Noyes will enter the tri-oval, and I think just lose concentration up on the exit and just stripped right up and tagged the wall. And he slid along that wall all the way through 1 and 2. So that destroyed the side of the number 3. And he finds himself now in a boatload of trouble. Spencer Ray continues to lead the way from Ruchin, from Musani, from Cherry, from McGill. That's the top 5. It is 6th on back, though, where they have shown absolutely no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Word on the street, we will be getting Dylan Coyle in here hopefully shortly. There have been some technical difficulties behind the scenes. He was due to start with us. You can't exactly fight power outages now, can you? So Dylan's working on getting himself in here. Will be a two-man booth before too long while we work back to the front straightaway. Almost three wide. Kenner shooting for the middle as we rocket back to turn numbers 1 and 2. Now Dingler trying to fight that second groove. Shift left working the high side back to the Nella straightaway. Collusion thrower now we're in the mix. Got about 6-7 cars here under a blanket. Peterson can, I think, get into the side of Shift right there, working back through turn numbers 3 and 4. Still on an absolute tear, though, as we hightail it back down to turns 1. Michael Kenner still trying to fight the bottom lane. Dingler trying to find some way anyway to get up the middle. They've been side by side in this fight now for the last several laps, and now almost tandem drafting. We're going to go 3 wide down to turn 1. Kenner on the bottom, Peterson in the middle, Shiflett up on top. That's going to get tight coming off of turn 2. The squeeze on the back straightaway, and it's Shiflett forced to back out from the third line. This is going to end in a caution here if these guys aren't careful. We rocket around into turn numbers 3 and 4, back to the front straightaway. Fighting side by side like it's the final lap. And the stage lap isn't even for another 20. All this going on, Matt Cherry has fought his way to third. McGill and Musati under a blanket as well in the fight for the final podium position. As everything looks to, I think, settle down, at least for the front runners. I know Spencer Ray has been steadily caught by Matt Rucci over the last several laps. You can tell Rucci's been working to close in on the Apex Action number 6 All-American Motorsports Toyota Supra as we work the bottom of 1 and 2 to the Nella straightaway for lap number 19. We'll keep tabs on that fight as we shift back to Kenner, Peterson, and Dingler, who have finally gotten it single-filed out. Not for long. Kenner sticking it to the bottom of the High Point Supra. Trying to steal 8th away to the front straightaway in the Tri-Oval. Kenner continues to work with it. Peterson still running just barely on that outside lane. They're squeezing each other in so much, though. Coming off of turn numbers 3 and 4. Dingler tracking on the bottom. Shiflett working that middle line right up in front of them, trying to manage this gap. Trying to build one out. Burnt Bacon duo, though, have been split up in a big way as a result of all of this battling. Shiflett and Kreischer were running together. They were fighting together for a while as well, but it didn't end up going either of their ways. I guess it went Kreischer's way. He ended up in 7th, but now, I mean, he started to lose a bit of time. Losing a bit of ground off of turn number 4 that time for the number 19. You can see Peterson looking for the inside, now switching back to the out. And now Kreischer will move up to that second line. Peterson will take it to the bottom. Contact! Look out! Peterson going around! He's going to overcorrect, sliding down into the infield. Can he keep it off of 3 and 4? He's just able to wrestle that 52 car back underneath him. What a save for Grant Peterson, just barely able to hang on as he is going to scramble down to the inside line. Well, you want to call that a Cole Brown moment. There's no better one than what we just saw Peterson falling way down the field after this moment. They made contact off of turn 2. And he slid way to the inside, overcorrected once, then twice on the Nella straightaway. And that is some wheel work to keep that car pointing in the right direction. Well, at the end of all of that, I think Dylan Coyle will join us now in the booth. And Dylan, what a time to enter as we're 24 laps deep.
My word, you good? I mean, it looks like everybody's just rolling the dice there in Las Vegas, trying to not get it into the wall, whether it's the outside or the inside. This looks like a good race so far.
Oh, it's been a fantastic race so far. Las Vegas Motor Speedway often is, though, in the OMSRL Xfinity Series. And the race for the lead is starting to pick up. Rucci has caught Spencer Ray. He's going to look to the bottom of 1 and 2 to make that move for the Nella straightaway.
Dives down the inside, and they're going to be side by side, around 3 grooves apart as they exit turn 2. It looks like the high line is going to help Spencer Ray right here against Matt Rucci, just for the time being.
Ray able to pull clear from that outside line. That's one really critical thing about Spencer Ray. He is able to have a good defensive game going, but Matt Rucci has proven time and time again with his last to first challenges, he's the king of offense. And he's looking to make that offensive move down on Spencer Ray in the next few laps here. Don't think he's going to be able to make it quite yet, though. He had one attempt. He'll have to take a lap or two to set that one back up. We do have Brandon Cluj, meanwhile, in a fight with Nathan Shiflett as that fight for the spots in and around the last spots of the top 10 starts to pick up once more, right where it left off.
Yeah, there's a lot of big infighting right here just outside the top 10, and a little dive with the left side tires by Cluj just below that white line, and that's going to lose him some time, and it's going to keep losing him some time as we head down this curved front stretch. You know, Las Vegas really holds itself well to help with cars defending on the outside line. It's progressive banking, so that outside line almost has an advantage in some ways, especially as the tires wear out a little bit more. We're still side by side for the lead between Rucci and Ray. Will Rucci get the lead? No, and Ray's going to fight back again on the outside. Rucci's in a much better spot, though, than he was a few laps ago.
Stage caution about 13 laps away as it stands. Rucci back to the bottom, Ray up on top, and I think this time Rucci will be able to get clear to the bottom, sweeps up with the slider across the nose. Ray immediately chops back to the inside. We're not done yet. Spencer Ray back to the bottom of 3 and 4. Rucci now with the one on the top. He's going to try to pinch him in, and I think that might just work out. Rucci will secure the race lead off of 4.
That is a master class in how to make a pass and how to keep it when you swap over, when you're trying to deal with the swap over at least from the competitor. Good driving by both Ray and Rucci. I think there's a reason that these two qualified first and second at Las Vegas. We look further back into the field. Still, we're seeing that battling going on. This is Anthony Masadi, Ryan Dingler, and Sean Kaiser, I think it is. Or no, Kenner. It's not. Yeah, Michael Kenner. Not Kaiser, Kenner. This is some good racing. Look at that. Getting a little bit wide on exit was Dingler. He's going to lose some momentum down the front stretch. I think the 98 of Kenner actually dipped his left side tires in the grass.
Trying to take every last square inch that is physically possible in the number 98, but he's going to take too much. You give an inch, you take a mile, as Dingler going to shoot back to the bottom. And now down the Nella straightaway, the Hex Armor Supra back to the inside, trying to pick up that number 6 spot. They're about a second back from Sean Kaiser, though, and starting to lose time. Contact again, as Dingler will get loose off of turn 4. Able to just file back in line, though, and again, nearly having our first yellow flag, but this time not nearly as close of a call as Peterson's was.
Yeah, once again, we kind of see that situation where the car on the inside line, they're not necessarily as fast as the car on the outside line, given the fact that we're 30 laps. Oh boy, we're wrecking. The yellow flag is out, and looking like a helicopter is just spinning down the backstretch. Not happy either, saying over the radio that he was not clear. This happened well, pretty far up the order. We'll see it in the replay shortly with Josh Cole. This was pretty bad.
And that's going to now put these guys in a critical position for the stage caution, remember, or not the stage caution, but the stage break, remember, because we got that
Ooh,
coming on up in less than 10 laps.
Do you pit? Do you
Yeah.
not pit? I mean, I feel like you have to pit at this moment. Yeah, and I think everyone's going to pit unless you've got something, something to lose. We got the replay right here, and 43 kind of comes down. Yeah, that's just you're not clear right there from the 83. And just kind of takes him out. The good thing is these drivers do have one fast repair, and we see the entire group come down pit road. Question is, does anyone stay out? Sean Kaiser stays out. Is he the only one?
I believe he is as of right now. Jacob Noyes hasn't stayed out, but he had to come down pit road because he scraped the ball early in his run, so we're not expecting him to come down for at least a little while. Hey, it's all about gambling in Vegas, isn't it?
Yeah. Sure. Let's go with that. I feel like at this point, though, Kaiser should have gone into the pits. He was 5th. So, I mean, it's not really a huge gain for Kaiser, as Matt Rucci will beat not Spencer Ray, but Matt Cherry out of pit road. So that's a spot gain for Cherry and a spot lost for Ray.
So Ray will fall to 3rd, but that does put him in a good position to go on the offensive against Matt Rucci here. So that, I don't think it was intentional, but at least it could have been worse.
Yes and no. Remember, Kaiser is going to be starting on the inside line if he does not decide to change his mind and go into the pits at some point. We're getting another replay here. This is something else. Purcell, where did this happen?
This happened right behind the initial incident, and we'll be able to see a bit further back. This is going to be coming out of turn number 2 here. This is the initial incident again. You're going to see Purcell just loses it right in the background and fires the inside right into the access wall.
That's the Jeff Gordon kind of crash at Las Vegas.
No safer barrier on this scan either, so pretty much like identical. I
mean, yeah. At least, oh goodness, I remember watching that. Live so many years ago. Was that 2008?
I think it was either 08 or 07. It was one of the two.
I forget. It might have been 07 too. It was like the Greens Flame sponsor car for the 24. That was such a hard hit. Purcell just says he overshot it over the radio. So
no kidding.
Well, I think he might be talking about something else, but yeah, he definitely overshot it. So the way it looks like we're going to restart here, of course, Kaiser is the leader. You don't want to be behind Kaiser. And unfortunate for Matt Cherry, he is behind Kaiser. So it feels like almost all of that work to gain that one extra spot in pit lane is really not going to pay off.
I believe we're going to be coming to 1 lap to green here, this time by Purcell, Cole, and Peterson. All come back to pit road. So with all of that, I guess welcome to the booth again. Now that we're not in the thick of things.
Thank you.
You missed the first 20 laps, and as I understand it, it was a power-related issue.
It was a power-related issue. Actually, the internet's been very slow here as well, and I just decided to, well, take a big old one on me just an hour or so ago, and I haven't even gotten. I moved in here to this apartment just over a month ago, and I haven't gotten my first electric bill, and I'm very concerned to see the price of it. We're all good, though, and I'm happy that I didn't just completely miss out on this one. I couldn't even connect via my computer, but I'm excited to be here now. And again, I'm sorry about that. How was last week?
Last week was good. Iowa was a good race. It often is. Lots of battling in the midfield. Not so much up front.
How about corn? Did you have corn?
We had corn. Spencer Ray winning the race in a special corn livery. You see where it's all blue on the left side, the outside of the fenders of the apex action is? That was all corn.
Love it. Hey, we're about to restart here. Maybe then we can play some checkers, chess, poker, whatever.
I'm more of a chess person than a checkers guy, and I still suck at both, so I'll leave the gambling to you. But Sean Kaiser takes it down to turn number 1. We hightail it back towards the now straightaway. Rucci immediately jumps to the top side. That's close. And Jerry going to make it 3 wide for the lead on the bottom.
Oh, Cherry's entry is going to be so low. Kaiser pinches him down. Ray's going to come on the outside. I mean, Kaiser, you think he's starting to regret his decisions right now? Is right in front of Kaiser. Was a little bit of a move from Kenner. And look who's coming in as well, Holden McGill.
Holden McGill starting this race back at the number 7 spot. He's going to try to make a run for the podium here as we work to the back straightaway. Michael Kenner qualified way back in 15th, though. And he is fighting for spots in and around the top 5. Spencer Ray will look to the outside, tries to make that offensive back up on Matt Rucci as we work to the front straightaway. 3 laps to go in stage number 1.
A little bit of a bump, a little bit of a shove to Holden McGill from Matt Cherry. Yeah, the question is, with 3 laps to go here, do these guys still race as hard as they do once they get to that, well, not really a green and white checkered, but the end of this stage? It's going to be interesting. Look how far back Rucci has fallen. Look how far ahead McGill has gone.
And now Cherry looking to make that a Badger Racing 1, 2, 3, and 4. They lock out all spots in the top 5 bar 1. McGill being blocked all over the place by Spencer Ray, who, I apologize, All-America Motorsports leading the way. It's a 2-3-4 for Badger Racing. 2 laps to go, though. About 2 miles at this point left on the stage. As McGill tries to make that move on the Apex Action Super for the lead. He's got one more chance to get it done.
I feel like at this point, you're comfortable with where you are. You still want more. You're still going to fight it, but you're not going to fight it at the behest of your actual car. I'm surprised whoa, we're spinning. The 43 spins into pit lane. Not happy on the radio. We stay green, and he's got some damage in the right rear quarter panel. Half a lap to go here in this stage. Spencer Ray still leads. Holden McGill in 2nd, and Matt Cherry in 3rd. I think that's how they're going to line up. Yes, as we end this stage, Spencer Ray wins it. Matt Rucci in 4th, Michael Kenner 5th, Ryan Dingler 6th, Zach Kreiser in 7th, Kluge 8th, DeWalt 9th, and Anthony Masati rounds out your top 10. Kyle Green, the first one without stage points.
Kyle Green in the fight of his own here with the likes of Hunter, Thrower, and more. We will try to see if we can't figure out what went down. Wanted to get a look, obviously, on how that stage is going to come out first. So this is Sean Kaiser coming into pit road. Oh, it was a huge stack up because of that. A very late call, it looked like, coming to pit road there, Dylan.
Yeah, that was not from 5th or 6th to kind of making a meal out of his race over the course of the last 5 or so laps. I mean, man.
That's not the fault of the guys behind. There's nowhere they can go.
Right. I mean, I didn't even hear him. Actually, I will say, he did say over the chat that he was pitting in.
The text chat or the voice chat? That's the big one.
The text chat.
Oh, that's where it's going to get interesting, because I know at least from personal experience, you're not usually looking at that when you're racing a car in a big field, in a big pack like that.
No, but is it enough for Kaiser to say, he's pitting in over the text chat and that's enough?
Well, to be fair, there's no rule you have to say it at all.
Right.
It's more of a gentleman's agreement, as it so often is.
Right, and I'd say if he didn't put that in the chat and just went down the pit road, I'd say, yeah, that's completely on him, but we've got a bit of a gray area here because he did say that he was pitting in, at least over the text chat. This is good news for the 43. You really can't, and he's upset over the radio, but he's kind of the victim of something that I don't know who you put the blame on there. I almost think that's not a good merge, but at the same time, he should know, Purcell should know that he's coming down because he put in the text chat. That's a hard one. That's a hard one to call.
In all fairness, he's coming in from a fair ways up the track as well.
He is.
We'll back it up. I mean, look at how far up. You know, when somebody's there, you're not expecting them to suddenly jam on the brakes and come to pit road, are you?
Right.
It looks like he's missing it.
Right. But he did say he was going down. That's the only
we've had
thing.
it before, though, where drivers call that out and they end up missing and they go around another lap. It's not uncommon for that to happen, especially at a high-speed track like Las Vegas.
Right. Oh, man. I don't know what the right call is there. That's a... People are going to point fingers and be angry at one another, but at the end of the day, he wasn't terribly high up the track, maybe the second groove at worst. And
about half a lane for them.
And he said he was pitting in. So, I mean, at that point, you know, Kaiser can say, what more do you want me to do? I mean, say it over the voice is probably the only thing I could say. What more?
Whatever the case, that's ended Josh Cole's day. Jason Blade just had to leave pit road for getting damage himself fixed as a result of that mess. Meanwhile, Peterson and Nathan Schiffler going side by side of the racetrack up here. This is for 13th. Schiffler will try to power through in the South Point Supra. The High Point Supra, though, do we call it North Point potentially at that point? Working up to the high side off a turn number 4, he'll retain that 13th spot.
Could also call it West Point because they're in Vegas.
True, we very much could.
I believe West Point, though, is...
Is it in? I don't think it's in Nevada.
No, it's not.
Area 51,
I believe. Well, this is true. West Point, of course, is the U.S. military academy.
I don't tune into the news, but I hear there's been something going on in regards to what usually is associated with Area 51 as of late. But
Sir,
I don't watch the news.
Do you want to talk about congressional hearings in the United States?
I would rather not. If that's what this is leading to, let's drop that top like a hot potato. And we'll move up to...
exactly.
We'll move to Brandon Kluge and Zachary Kreischer instead, fighting for 7.
You missed me last week. I know. No comment?
No comment. My lawyers have advised me not to answer that question under duress.
Fair.
Michael DeWalt.
It's a good battle.
Yeah, I was going to say, Michael DeWalt looking to the inside of Kreischer. He'll pick up number 8 as Brandon Kluge retains that 7th spot, and DeWalt just going to track him across the nose of Kreischer.
That was perfect.
Off of turn 2.
I mean, I don't even think that was as, close as maybe you might have suggested there. There was car length in between once he dove down the inside. That's taking a position with authority right there, and I almost feel like drivers, they do it a lot, and they at least attempt it a lot, but they attempt it recklessly. That was just good driving right there by Michael DeWalt in the 11 machine, the 11 DeWalt machine. Nathan Schiffler is trying to overtake Hunter Thrower right now, and Thrower is struggling just a tad. He's going to watch as Schiffler just backs up quarter entry and is going to have a run on the exit of 4. They might be side by side at the midpoint of 1 and 2, but Schiffler did not gain as much as I thought he would right there. Currently running P14 in that Toyota Supra. Clemson helmet. We are Penn State, that's all I got to say. And no comment.
There he goes.
Yeah. Goes down the inside. That's a good exit point. Thrower again struggling. And he'll concede that position fully to Schiffler. And just like you, Nolan, no comment in regards to my Penn State fandom.
I've been in enough Discord calls to know where that can lead. we've had some discussions for sure.
Yes.
Kyle Green, Anthony Musatti, Zachary Kreischer working together, but more importantly, Matt Cherry under fire by Matt Rucci for the final podium position. I think critically here, remember Spencer Ray and Matt Rucci, together they built up a gap of several, almost like a second and a half at the end of that last green flag run. They haven't been able to do that so far here though in this one. I don't think anybody in this group necessarily working together as Rucci leans on the door of Matt Cherry.
And that's going to open the door up to Michael Kenner, who also has Ryan Dingler coming in behind. This is a 6-car train to the lead, with Spencer Ray currently the conductor.
Ray still clear by about 0.3 of a second. That could go in a hurry. Rucci's into the outside wall as Rucci tracked too wide out of the tri-oval and body slams the outside wall exactly like Jacob Noyes did in the first 10 laps of this race. That's what sent him a lap down. That's a rare mistake to see from that Tracker Boats 88.
Well, it just goes to show you how crazy this battling is. And there's another mistake right there by Rucci. He dipped his left side tires below the white line onto the apron, and now he's under attack by Ryan Dingler. Dingler's going to look down the inside, looks to the outside, falls in line, and then he'll take groove number 3 as Rucci takes 2, slides up to 3. I mean, Rucci's overdriving this thing right now. He's really overdriving this thing. We also look at what's going on with 48 and the 98, 88 and the 8. There's a lot of 8s involved in this battle right now. The crazy 8s. It is
18
Vegas.
back in 10th as well.
Kyle's just not part of the party.
Yeah, maybe he'll get up there.
Hunter Thrower is not either.
Nathaniel Lim's definitely is not. 8.7 seconds down in the 16th spot.
He's kind of running his race right now. It's the good thing about this series is that you've got a lot of drivers who run at similar levels at each racetrack that we go to. And it makes it fun, right? It makes it a very enjoyable experience here as we still watch this top 4, top 5, top 6 battle. You can see them all on screen right there. Great shot from our producer. I wonder who that is.
I wouldn't imagine. Spencer Ray continues to lead the way. Holden McGill runs second. Kenner third. Wrap out the podium. Hasn't really been the title defense that Michael Kenner was hoping for all season long. He had an abysmal outing at the Daytona International Speedway 1 week ago. He has been able to kind of regain that form as of late, but he still sits 35 points behind Holden McGill. That's not a number you want to find yourself down on. I think one thing that's saving him is the fact that we do have that points reset after race number 10 for those last 6.
You know, let's chat something real quick. If this race goes green for the rest of the way, which that's a big if right now, that's a good 65 laps on a single tank of fuel. That is just pushing past the limit of what's possible fuel-wise. I don't think they can make it on that. As we see Kenner get a really good run. He's going to pull out of line on Holden McGill for second. Go down the inside now, which is a really hard line we've seen drivers try to take. There's just almost no way to get good momentum running on the inside line unless you've got momentum already and you send it in and make the move on corner entry. The New Jersey driver in the Riley Herbst scheme he's got a good run down here down the backstretch, just too short of a backstretch.
Now the Dallas straightaway, not a straightaway that offers the best of drafting runs down it, but it can be great if you can set up yourself with a momentum run coming out of turn number 2.
That's a good entry. That's a decent exit. But again, he's just too far back, Nolan. You want to make the move as quickly as possible, but does it give you a little bit of, thought that, hey, Spencer Ray is not pulling away. Let's not burn up the tires horribly at this point of the race to try and get in the second.
At this point, I think it'd be a good idea to kind of set yourself up for the pit stop run that we know is potentially coming on up here in the next, I'd say, 15 laps or so. You mentioned rightly, we don't have enough to get to the end of this race. I don't think we'd be seeing these guys racing as aggressively as they have been. If they did have enough to go to the end, you'd be seeing people lifting out, clutching, coasting, trying to find a way to get themselves to the end. But remember, these guys strategically make it so you cannot make it to the end of the race on one tank of fuel. And I do love that about this series. It adds that pit strategy in. Some series take that to an extreme, like the TNGGIL Truck Series. They have a 100-lap race at Vegas. They're pitting 3 times over the course of the race, about once every 25. Whereas these guys, they've only got the 1. And I think that, having more pit stops, it does allow for a lot more strategy. Racing like this, it allows for the race to be much tighter together.
You know, I thank you for mentioning that. Did not even realize it as Kenner just dives down underneath McGill, who's going to try swap over here. Kenner kind of pushes him down that Nellis straight away, and they're side by side entering 3. I still got to give it to Kenner here as we've got a expedition trying to discover whether or not he's a toy.
I don't think he is.
I don't.
Unless you count a video game as a toy. Which,
I mean, is it? Is this a video game? This is a simulator, Nolan.
That is a bottom tier take, my friend. If I ever did hear one. Oh, slap the wall out of 4. Didn't even get loose.
Yeah, that's a really hard
tight.
hit. That's a hard hit. Look at all that damage to the right side. That's going to really affect Arrow here. Kenner's really flying, by the way. He's caught up to Ray, and the driver who just went off track, of course, Corey Paya, is going to serve as a little bit of dirty air. We're watching the 69 and the 11 fight with Matt Rucci, who, what has happened in his race so far?
He hit the wall. That's what happened to his race. He got all that damage coming out of the tri-oval, and now he hasn't been able to regain that pace of old since then.
That's right. I mean, a track affected by Arrow. Holden McGill. Okay, we see. Hold on. We have a pass for second. Holden McGill. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Al, I know exactly what happened. The 98 got side by side with Corey Paya on corner exit of 4 and completely destroyed his run and gave Holden McGill another opportunity here. Let's watch this.
This is, I believe, is a bit earlier than we were wanting. We'll get a better look here. And this is way too early, so we'll jump forward now. We're going on the runaround here. We caught the tail end of it there. You get the gist of it. You get the gist. You can tell what happened there.
Yeah, and Paya's trying to run his race, and he's not being unpredictable. It's just an unfortunate time to catch a driver who is now 2 laps down. And Spencer Ray's pitting in. Now, he said it very late on the radio, but he did put it over text chat. Imagine if that caused an incident right there.
Dingler, Rucci, Peterson, the other Peterson, Thrower, and Ames are all in as well. So about half your field coming on down on this first run of green flag pit stops on lap 69. Knowing this group, that is not an accident. Holden McGill and Michael Kenner are going to be working together. Or I say working together. They're going to be battling for the lead. McGill will bail out. He'll take a pit road, sliding the tires on entry, as is Matt Cherry. And they both nearly missed the pit entry. They're able to back it down. We got more coming in just behind. That's Corey Paya in for 21st.
Well, from what I'm seeing in terms of fall off, it's been pretty substantial. And around this 35 or so lap run, I believe the fall off has been around a second and a half, which obviously is huge. For some drivers, it's been even more than that. Kenner is coming in right now. He's trying to slow that thing down, and he I think just gets it slowed down. DeWalt stays out, as well as Kyle Green. That is the rest of the front runners who have remained out on track trying to get all they can. This will get them to the finish, remember, with that 70% fuel tank, which thank you for bringing up, Nolan, because I did not remember that. that gives these drivers at this track probably at most 38, 40 laps. So they're good to go unless we get into a lot of shenanigans with overtimes. But the leader of this race is still Kyle Green, who is the only one not to come in of, well, anyone right now.
Purcell also has not come in as well. I was about to mention.
Yeah. Purcell, though. Interesting. Maybe he's hoping for a caution?
That'd be my assumption. I believe he'll be going to lap down if he pits in here. So I do believe he is hoping for a yellow flag to come on out and kind of save his strategy. That's not going to happen, though. He's going to be forced to come into pit road. You see him slowing on the racetrack, and he is going to take it to it and give up the hope.
That's the green flag stops for you. That was really solid.
Oh,
Kyle
and he's
Green.
going to loop it on entry.
Could this be a caution?
It's in pit road. There's not going to be a yellow for it.
Purcell is doing his best to say, hey, there should be one with his driver right there. But great job now by Purcell to get it back going. Might have wasted a few extra seconds there. Kyle Green comes out of pit road, but he is passed by the likes of Spencer Ray, Anthony Masati, Holden McGill. How about Musati? That was a great pit stop for his team, and he kind of gets himself involved in this leader situation.
Masada was already kind of running up in the top 5 beforehand. He just hadn't really been in the position where he could actually go after the race lead, and I'm not so sure he'll be able to now. Spencer Ray did pit later, so he's got 2 lap fresher tires, and he's actually starting to build that gap up as well. So I don't think Masada's going to be able to get to him, but this could be a good run for Spencer Ray. Remember, took race win number 1 of the season 1 week ago, trying to go back-to-back here at Las Vegas. Now, Robert Peterson and Michael DeWall, they're one of the closest fights on track as it stands. They're running for 10th and 11th. Kyle Green as well, closing in on a charging Nathan Shiflett, and now Purcell in the mix. They're going to split Purcell and Sean Kaiser going up the middle on the front straightaway.
Oh boy, that is a little bit dangerous right there for the 15, 18, and 24, but they're going to somehow make it work for the time being. The 24 goes way high, though. Remember, Kaiser came in a few laps after that green flag came back out, so he's on a slightly different strategy right now, but still the 15 and the 18 side by side. This just shows you Kyle Green may have made a mistake by coming in so late compared to the rest. And Anthony Vasati, who made a desperately early undercut. I mean, he went from running 8th, 9th to running 2nd, a few seconds safe inside the top 5.
Vasati, though, could be starting to fall back towards Holden McGill as well. McGill in his own right is starting to close in, so we could be seeing that fight for 2nd pickup before too long. We've got a fight, though, for 8th, and it is Brandon Kluge, Michael DeWall, Grant Peterson, all line astern. Back to turn number 1. Kluge at the moment holding up just about everybody in this field. He is the one that pitted on lap number 70, and to the outside is going to be Michael DeWalt, who will take that one for the high side down the Nella straight down to 3 and 4. And the 11 is able to track clear. Brandon Kluge will work to that inside line. Grant Peterson continues to watch on from 10th. They got Robert Peterson behind there. Just he's just vibing.
I feel like Michael DeWalt is the kind of driver who, as the race goes on, he settles in and he shows his speed late in later runs. I mean, his qualifying time was only good enough for 18th. His practice time was very similar to his qualifying time. I almost wonder, is this a situation where DeWalt has that speed, just needs to maybe put in a few extra practice laps to find it before getting in sim? Understood.
And some of them just stopped not to practice at all. They'll hop in with about 5 minutes left, and whatever happens, happens. You get all sorts over here. Sean Kaiser heading pit road again in the number 24. So something going awry for Sean Kaiser's strategy, whereas Anthony Musati and Matt Rucci go side by side for 3rd.
This is a good battle. Musati, who definitely has lesser of the tires is starting to really have that show right now. Sean Kaiser, by the way, just dipped down pit lane. Musadi gives up another position, has fallen back to 5th as Dingler gets by. And, I mean, Musadi's tires are definitely starting to show its age. I mean, for him, the checkered flag can't come any sooner. The fall off is really big here. It's way bigger than I expected it to be. Just a softer compound of tire. You know, the track isn't really that hot. It's, I mean, 91 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot. Feels hot. Not to these cars. That's pretty good. The track isn't going to be too slick. Hotter the track is, the more the rubber just kind of melts off, and the worse grip is. There's this temperature range you want it to work in, and when it works in that range, you know, on track temp, it's great. When it doesn't, it's not. It could be worse underneath the temperature. It can be worse above the temperature. Typically, you want cooler conditions, as Kreiser is trying to hold his own on the outside, but I don't think that's possible. Kyle Green, remember, has much fresher tires than the rest of this group, so he's going to continue picking off these cars. You can see him maybe going in 8th in just a few laps' time.
As I kind of mentioned at the top of the broadcast about the track temperatures that you mentioned, how it was pretty much optimal conditions out here, and I think that's why this race has been as phenomenal as it has been. But it hasn't been the caution fest that it was last season. Last season, we were averaging about 1 yellow flag every, 15 to 20 laps or so. We had a few big nasty incidents, including Michael Kenner, like I mentioned before, flipping up on his roof. Hamilton got dumped out of the lead later in the race as well. We had a last lap melee as well that went down. It's been very tame, though. Only one caution still on the afternoon, and other than that, we've been taking it nice and easy here so far. And I think that could make for a bit of an exciting finish in this one if McGill can get up to Spencer Ray. But with 15 laps to go, 1.4 seconds, I'm not so sure he'll be able to get that done. Meanwhile, still got this fight for 9th and 11th to keep us entertained.
Only 16 laps to go, about to be 15. Do you see anything changing from the status quo in this race as it currently stands?
Not really, if I'm being honest. I mean, this has been about as run-of-the-mill of a race as it can get so far. Low caution count, lots of on-track battling, though. This is going about as well as this race could have gone. I mean, 15 laps to go. I think we'll be seeing a few more positions here in this midfield battle, but otherwise, I think we're pretty sorted, all things considered.
Well, not in this battle right here is Robert Peterson with a T trying to send it down underneath Grant Peterson with a D, and they'll be side by side coming out of 4. You could fit half a car in between them. A lot of respect and fairness given to each of the drivers down the front stretch, and Robert Peterson wins the battle of the Petersons right there, and will move himself up into the top 10. That was a battle for 10th. Everybody on the lead lap in the top 17. That may be changing, though, very soon, because Spencer Ray is about to put 17th Helfner down.
As well as that, you had Michael Kenner fall victim to Ryan Dingler as Dingler punched his ticket up towards the number 4 spot. But Kenner fighting back around the top, down the back straightaway, and Dingler will have to continue to fight this one down to the low side. We work into turn numbers 3 and 4, and Kenner will just be able to clear from the high shelf. They've been doing a lot of pinching in these front-running groups so far over the course of the night, but it's been good racing. It's been like right on that bubble of respect, right? And I think that's one thing a lot of these races have been doing. They understand by now exactly where that limit is. A lot of them are racing together for several seasons. And it's what allows us to have these very consistent, great battles on the racetrack.
Yeah, this race has been a masterclass in showing that good passing happens very frequently. Not just at the front, but all the way through this field. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And now that we've got some lap traffic coming into the fray, that's kind of slowed Spencer Ray quite a bit. Holden McGill look at that gap right there between he and Ray. It's definitely come down. For sure it's come down because Ray had to work his way through so much traffic there. Not just one lap down cars, but 2 lap down cars and more.
So McGill's second car in line as Ray tries to fight to the bottom. Still a lot of racing left to go for there only being 10 laps left on the docket. 0.8 of a second separate them. We'll track that in a little bit as for now we've got Brandon Kluge and Kyle Green going side by side back to turns 1 and 2. Green going to find his way up to 8th and then he'll find himself up to that number 8 spot. I think he'll get to 7 and that might be where he stalls. Don't think he will close up to Musati by the time we get to the end of this race. He'll look for the bottom though. That's going to be number 7 then for Kyle Green.
Yeah, Green, he's really flying right now, man. With DeWalt, he'll take care of him easily down the front stretch. Who's this pitting right here?
Jason Layton, 3 laps down.
Layton, okay. He's coming down the pits. Non-factor, unfortunately for him. I mean, Green's absolutely going to catch Anthony Masati. DeWalt himself is in a battle with Brandon Kluge right now. I think DeWalt maybe burnt up his tires a little bit too much trying to work his way through the field as quickly as possible. Kluge is really fighting here. Musati, by the way, who is just in front of these 3 cars we saw on screen. You see him entering. Yeah, here he is right now in 1 and 2. Right behind him is 7th Kyle Green. This is an example, by the way, as he blinks real quick, between Musati, who has the most worn tires in the field, and Kyle Green, who has the freshest tires in the field. We are, I mean, goodness, man, we're 20 plus 25 laps into this run, this final run of the race, and we're still seeing that difference in tires. Maybe not as big as right off pit road, but it's still a big thing. Look at DeWalt and Kluge. DeWalt on the outside. He's going to try and keep that momentum going, but really good battle here from Kluge to just kind of fight back. He's gonna have to fall back in line, but he was trying to make that inside work. It's hard to make that inside line work here.
It really is. It's not easy, especially later on in a run to make that inside work for you. And Michael DeWalt's been doing a good job on trying to manage this gap overall. You know who else has been doing a good job on managing the gap? Spencer Ray. We'll get back to him in a moment as we got 6 laps left to go. Kluge back down to the inside of DeWalt, trying to pull clear, but DeWalt's setting up the momentum back on the outside, and he'll track right with it all the way down the Nellis straightaway and into 3 and 4. Not able to get clear though. Kluge still has just about a quarter panel down on the inside. DeWalt working for the high lane. He's not going to get clear off of 4. Oh, he's just able to get clear off of 4, but getting back to it, Spencer right at the front, still losing time, 0.6 of a second, and it is still dropping.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a really interesting ending. Look at the gap differences, though. It's not enough. It's really not enough, as we're still seeing over half a second between Ray and McGill. Unless McGill, I mean, literally turns it up here in the last 4 laps of this race, the last 6 miles, which he definitely can do. We've seen it before, but we've also seen Spencer Ray try and command a race lead before, and that gap has come down. I wonder how much the draft is starting to come into play down the straightaways. If, the closer he gets, the more likely he is to pull into his toe. There's 3 laps to go here. And not only is McGill catching Ray, but so is Matt Rucci.
Well, remember, the closer you get with the draft, the more effective it's going to be. And so this is only snowballing here as McGill continues to try to hunt down Spencer Ray. 4.5 tenths now and still close. If he can get within 2 by the last lap, he could go for the Hail Mary. Who knows at this point in time? 3 miles of racing left to go. We get back to start finish. And McGill hot up on Ray's heels. But I think Rucci's going to catch McGill before McGill can catch up to Ray.
Completely agree with you there. And, I mean, this is going to make the job even harder for Holden McGill, especially with Rucci flying as fast as he is. Remember, we were talking about Rucci maybe laying back a little bit. And it's for a situation like this where he can get right back to it. He goes a little bit wide, though, at the midpoint of 1 and 2 with a lap and a half to go here. Ray's just trying to hold on. He's got a big advantage right now. It's going to take something huge here from Holden McGill.
Coming around, taking the white flag. 1 lap left to go of racing here at the Jackpot 150 in the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 0.3 of a second, still looking to close. McGill trying to send something up, trying to set up a huge run down the back straightaway, but he sacrifices a 10.5 in doing so through turn numbers 1 and 2. Ray still pulls well clear as he worked the back straightaway for the final time. Into 3 and 4. Spencer Ray has been in control from the pit stops. He's going to remain in control off of 3 and 4. It is Spencer Ray to go back-to-back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Win number 2 of the season will go to the number 6.
He says as he crosses the line that he is sweating something off right now, so he had to work for that win. Look at that, almost 3 wide coming across the line. Anthony Masadi, hey, it's a net gain of 1 there from the overcut, so worked for him slightly. Kyle Green got him, of course. Green finishes 6th. This was just a fantastic race. There's not much more you can ask from.
This was a phenomenal race as we'll let Spencer Ray get down into the infield and burn it down in front of Nevada.
All of Nevada.
Or at least whoever turned up to watch tonight.
In front of Nevada. That's just an interesting use of semantics. But nonetheless, Spencer Ray, he is burning it down, and he's doing a much better job than I ever would. I'd hit the wall.
With all of that said and done, we'll be able to take a rundown of your official post-race results here tonight from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where we saw Spencer Ray take the race win here tonight. Holden McGill will pick up the number 2 spot. It is Matt Rucci to be back in 3rd. Michael Kenner back at that 4th spot with Ryan Dingler in 5th. Kyle Green will finish in 6th with Anthony Rosati in 7th. Brandon Kluge was in 8th. One of the few drivers to not move at all from where he started in this race. Michael DeWalt moved up 9 positions to finish in 9th. And Robert Peterson there, Dylan, rounds out the top 10.
We keep it going on with Grant Peterson in 11th, Matt Cherry, Zach Kreischer, Nathan Shiflett, Hunter Trower, and Nathaniel Ames finishing on the lead lap in 16th. We go back to the lap down runners. Colton Hofner will be in 17th with Stefan Purcell in P18. Continue running it down in the Jackpot 150 running order. Not sure if it... There we go! With Sean Kaiser in 19th, Jacob Noyes, Corey Paya, Jason Layton, and Josh Cole. Some drivers involved in earlier incidents. Finishing laps down. 23 cars. Fun race. Really fun race. Happy we got such a good green flag run at the end there, too.
Oh, absolutely. It was a phenomenal run that we were able to have at the end of this race, and we'll be able to figure out what all of the drivers, at least on the podium, thought about that race, as we'll be able to now get in touch with some of the guys. We'll kick things off with, of course, race winner Spencer Ray joins us up in the broadcast booth. It is win number 2 of the season, and it is back-to-back for the Apex Action number 6 Toyota Supra. Spencer, I think you can call that one mission accomplished then for tonight.
Yeah. I worked out a lot better than I thought it would.
Well, we heard on the radio you were sweating something fierce right there at the end. Kind of what was the thoughts going through your head with McGill constantly trying to run you down in the last 10 there?
Just don't let him get next to me. And it worked out.
Well, next race we'll be swinging a little bit further back to a lower speed track. It's the Dover Motor Speedway, 125 laps. Do you reckon you can go for the hat trick at the Monster Mile?
It's my favorite race track. We'll go for it.
Well, that's what I like to hear. We'll see you then at Dover Downs. And for now, congratulations once again on the race win.
Thanks, Nolan.
Spencer Ray joins us up here in the broadcast booth from Victory Lane. We'll be able to get in touch with your second-place finisher. Holden McGill for Badger Racing continues to extend his lead at the top of the points board. Dylan, you're standing by with our number 2 finisher.
Yeah, Holden, you came really close at the end there, finishing just a few tenths off Spencer Ray. Did you feel like you had it through the majority of that final green flag run?
I really wasn't sure. I felt like I could probably get to him, but I was going to burn everything I had up trying to get there, and I figured if that happened, I wasn't going to be able to do anything with him, which that's pretty much what it felt like happened.
Well, still though, you did have to fight off Matt Rucci at the end as well. Do you feel like that having to worry about maybe making a more aggressive approach there for the win at the end would have opened the door up to lose second?
Maybe. I didn't feel like I raced very much differently with Matt right there than I would have anyway. I just felt like if he gets there, he gets there. If not, I'm not gonna sit there and drive defensive when I have a chance to possibly get there. And at the end of the day, he was respectful enough to not make any kind of rash moves to take us both out. And yeah.
Well, it felt like the majority of this race was very, very hard racing, but also very fair, very clean, very hard fought racing. Is this the kind of race that you kind of look back on, and even though you don't get the win here, it was a fun race to be a part of?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to enjoy them when they're allowed to just play out as they should. We were kind of messing with the strategy, like I'm sure everyone else was, to try to make it to the end of stage 1 on fuel. And then after that, with the yellow coming out, it was just straight one stop to the end and see who can get there first.
All right, Holden. Well, congratulations on the second place finish, extending the lead at the top. We'll see you at Dover next time out.
Sounds good. Y'all have a good one.
That is
for a couple races now, but at least we're able to get back to you now as you find yourself taking number 3 on the podium.
Yeah, I felt like I could have got the top spot, but I kind of blew it in the second stint by hitting the wall. Wasn't the greatest, but yeah, I just put myself behind, smacking the wall on the straightaway, trying to get around Matt Cherry. But I put myself behind there. I thought I was gonna have a chance. Kind of ran out of laps there. I felt like if I had like 5 more laps, I might have been able to get by both of them. But obviously, that would have been, they would have played it differently as well. But just disappointed. But it's third place is still a solid day. So.
Let's think back to that yellow flag period about lap 32 or so. It was going to always be a question as to whether you were going to pit or not. You, like many others, opted to pit coming to the end of the stage there. What kind of contributed to that decision to go for the fresh tires and hope that everybody else would come down with you?
I mean, for me, I don't really care about the stage win. I'm just trying to get the checkered flag. If I finish 15th in the stage and I end up winning, that I'd rather that than I wasn't really too concerned about that, really. Just more like track position. I didn't really mind the stage, especially now since we don't have a caution. So I just race it like it's 100 laps just from the go, But I wish it stayed green because we had the lead there for about like 8 laps, and then the caution came out, and then I fire off slow, just trying to save tires, and then after 15 laps or so, I kind of just reel everyone back in. But that was just the way I attacked the track and the way I wanted to do it. But obviously, it wasn't how it should have gone. But it's all right.
Obviously, we look forward now to the Dover Motor Speedway 1 week from now. Can we expect to see you out of the Monster Mile? And if so, what's going to be the game plan?
Yeah, I plan on attending and racing. And the game plan will be same thing, just saving that right front, because saving the right front and saving the right side of the car. It's 2 major things here. Yeah, I'm excited. I like Dover. I like tracks that you just run right on the bottom. You can kind of move around Dover, but I enjoy tracks like that, and I look forward to it.
Well, we look forward to seeing you out there. For now, congratulations on that 3rd place finish here tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Hopefully, it might be 1 or even 2 better when we go racing at the Monster Mile.
Thank you, guys.
It's Matt Rucci joining us up here from that third position. And, well, Dylan, that's going to about do it for our podium drivers. And what a night it has been for everybody involved. There's been so much that these racers have had to overcome tonight. And it's going to be a lot more for them to overcome when we go racing at that 1 mile concrete behemoth next week.
Well, I love Dover Motor Speedway. It's always going to be Dover International Speedway to me. That's the way it was growing up, just an hour outside of its concrete confines. It serves up a very unique challenge to all the drivers, being completely concrete. Those corners, I mean, it's like a roller coaster ride, honestly. You kind of dip down into the corners and jump back up on corner exit. A lot of fun there. Very hard to pass, and there's a lot of different lines and different ways you can get around those really long banked sweeping corners with short straights. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what they're able to do there.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see what we're all going to be able to do at the Dover Motor Speedway 1 week from now. It'll also be fun to figure out what's going on later on in the week here on Green Flag TV. The Speed Cup Series returns for race number 14. We swing to Michigan International Speedway. OMSRL had a good race there. Much of the same crowd racing there on Thursday nights. We'll see what they'll be able to make for us as we continue to get ourselves set up for playoff season. As well as that, the TNGG IL Truck Series marches onwards towards their second half of the season with the Blues 150 down at the Nashville Super Speedway. So all of that and more will be coming on up in the next few days on Green Flag TV. For now, though, from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it's farewell for myself and Dylan Coyle. We'll wish you all a happy rest of your week.